There are 32 color combinations in Magic the Gathering. Which one have I never played on this channel? Welcome back everyone, got a different kind of video for you today. As I mentioned in the open, there are 32 color combinations in Magic the Gathering, one of which I have never played on this channel. So what I thought we would do is do a fun little countdown of the colors I've played the most to the colors I've played the least, and we'll find out the one color combination that I've never played. Now before we get going, I have to thank GVR aka Glenn. Glenn went through all of my old videos and recorded which decks I played, the color combination, and whether I won or lost the game. In most cases, the win-loss ratio is not significant on this channel because, especially early on, I posted mostly wins. Now it's a little bit more balanced, but for the most part, almost every color combination is somewhere between like a 50 and 75% win rate, so it's not like statistically significant. There are a couple deviations in there in the win percentage, which I'll shout out when I get to them, but for the most part, it's not really like a useful statistic, just because of the way I post videos. But anyway, yes, Glenn went through all of the old videos, recorded everything down. He actually went up to about July 5th of this year, and then I did all the recording for the last 2 months or so between the time that he handed this off to me and I actually spent the time to sit down and make this video. Now before we jump in, what is your guess for the one color combination that I have not played? Feel free to guess in the comments below. Anyway, let's get going. So as you may have guessed, the color combination that I played more than anything else is going to be Boros, with 55 games played, 41 wins, with a 75% win rate. 21 of those games with Aurelia the War Leader, 19 wins. Now, funny enough, I do have a lot of losses recorded with Aurelia. I know I've got at least like 7 or 8 of them. And I don't know if any of you guys used to watch skateboarding videos back in the day, but at the end there's always like a slam section of all the falls. And I thought about doing like a little video of all the games that I've lost with Aurelia. So let me know if you guys want to see that, because I do have those just kind of sitting around, not doing much. But anyway, yeah, tons and tons of Boros on this channel. I forget the exact number now, but it was roughly 20% of the games on this channel are Boros videos. So, and that's about what I've been trying to stick with. You know, usually trying to do one Boros video a week is what I aim for. It doesn't always happen, but that's generally where I'm aiming these days. Moving on from there, the next most played color combination is actually FiveColor with 27 games and surprisingly 17 wins, good for 63%. And the reason I say surprisingly is that I never thought of myself as a very good 5-color deck builder, but over the past like year and a half maybe, especially like post Dominaria with like Joda and other stuff like that coming out, I've actually built a lot more 5-color decks, and I think I'm actually pretty decent at it now. Like for me, making tough card choices was always hard, getting the mana base in a place that I like it was pretty difficult, but I think I've actually come a long way in my 5-color deck building, and part of that is probably just because I've done it a lot. According to this, the second most of any other deck type that I've built. So yeah, I'm no longer scared of building 5-color decks. Next up, we have the 3 mono colors, with mono red at 25 games, mono black at 24 games, and mono white at 21 games. I would have guessed that mono red was a little bit lower than that. I feel like I don't get to play mono red as much as I used to, but yeah, I guess I've played quite a bit of mono red. Moving down the list, we get to Naya and Mardu. Played 21 games with Naya, which is a lot more than I would have expected, honestly, and 16 with Mardu, same. I don't feel like I've built a lot of 3-color decks, but what's interesting is, especially with Commander 19 coming out, I think I've played about as many 3-color decks in the past 3 months as I have for like the entire duration of this channel. So like the number of 3-color decks has doubled basically in the past 3 or 4 months. So interesting little stat reading into it right there. But yeah, I didn't feel like I had played that much Mardu or that much Naya, but pretty decent amount. Moving on from there, we get to Celestia and Rakdos, both at 13 games. Celestia, I know I played the Karamitra Elephant Tribals, but I can't even think of what the other Celestia commanders have been. I guess I played the Cats deck a few times. And the 13 games with Rakdos. Rakdos is still a color combination that I feel like I struggle with quite a bit. I have not unlocked the secrets of how to be really effective with Rakdos. Some of the stronger things that I have seen and stuff that I tend to shy away from is reanimating Grey Merchant of Asphodel numerous times, which like isn't really my favorite way to win a game, so I guess without doing that, Rakdos is just not my strong suit, but I'd like to get back to the Commander 19 commanders a little bit more at some point and kind of explore those, because I think there's some cool stuff there. Moving on from there, we get to Mono Blue and Mono Green, both with 11 games. Now, my win rate on both of these is very high. 9 wins for blue and 8 wins for green. Haven't lost too many games with those, just very strong monocolors. Next we get to some more 3-color decks. Surprisingly, I played 10 games with Jund. I don't remember any of those. And when I started going through this exercise, Jund would have been the one that I would have guessed that I haven't played, but apparently I've logged 10 games. Don't remember them super well. 9 games with Esper, and then you see 7 games with Jeskai, 7 games with Sultai. So my win rate with Esper is 44%. My win rate with Sultai, 1 win in 7 games, 14%. Now what I will say is that I do punt a lot with Sultai decks because I just don't play them very often. And they sort of operate a bit differently than most of the things I'm used to playing. So when you're just not used to the cards, more prone to making mistakes. So that actually makes Sultai my worst win rate in a color pairing that I actually have a win. There's a couple that I've played only one time and have 0 wins, so obviously 0%, but yeah, 1 lonely win with Sultai. Next up we see another set of guilds. Got 10 games with Dimir, 7 with Azorius, and 5 with Gruul. Gruul is a color combination that I could probably definitely play a little bit more of. And then we see some of the enemy color guilds. 7 games with Orzhov, 5 games with Golgari, 5 games with Izzet, and 4 games with Simek. Simek was interesting in that I am 4 for 4 with Simek, and the win rate was 100%. Simek OP. Who knew that making tons of mana and drawing 10 cards late in a game is real good? So then we see some more 3-color pairs, 4 games with Crixus, 1 game with Bant, that game was a loss, and 4 games with Abzan. And then we see all of the 4-color commanders. These are all single digits. 1 game with K&T, 2 games in Breya colors. Interestingly, I haven't actually played Breya as a commander. Those were both partner games. 4 games with Saskia. Saskia is one that I would love to get back to. There's some things that I want to explore with that deck and see just how aggressive I can make it. 4 games in Atraxa colors, and 1 game with Yidris, which was the Ogre Tribal game, which I have been meaning to redo, because I think we could have a better showing with that one. So as you can see, 4-color decks, haven't played much of them, all single digits. Wouldn't mind exploring them a bit more. That brings us to colorless, which I have played 1 game. That was the Emrakul game. Outside of Boros decks, I feel like people asked me to replay Emrakul probably more so than any other deck, and that's one that I'd like to get to at some point as well. And I would venture a guess that there's probably a lot of good upgrades for that deck that weren't available the last time I played it, because I think that video is like 2 years old, so... Anyway, that is 31 color combinations right there. That leaves 1 color combination that I have not played. Have you figured it out yet? It's Temur. I have never played a Temur deck on this channel, so I've spent a lot of time thinking about whether that choice has been intentional or not, and I would say that it's mostly unintentional, but it's more so a product of there are 4 or 5 Temur commanders that are really strong, and also just doing like a good stuff in Temur tends to lend itself to really powerful decks. And a lot of this channel has focused on more underdog kind of stuff, so I guess it just never really called out to me in a way that other decks do, because there's so much power available in those colors. So anyway, yeah, Temur is the 1 color set that I've never played, and you know what that means. There's going to be a Temur deck coming really soon. I have a deck from a GoFundMe donor that I've already filmed, so be sure to check out that Temur deck coming out later this week. It's a really spicy build. It's a budget deck built with the purpose of dealing with other really strong decks at the shop that the deck creator plays. And it actually does a lot of really cool stuff, especially when you talk about it being on a budget. So I can't wait to get that video posted. That'll be up later this week. And I hope you guys enjoyed this look back through the channel, seeing which color decks I've played the most, seeing which ones I've played the least, and the 1 color combination that I haven't played. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this fun little trip back through the channel, and as always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. Also, be sure to use the TCG affiliate link in the description below when buying new cards, because it helps support the channel and it doesn't cost you anything.